Welcome, Chapter 3, Section 1. I was just want to bring up some more postulates for us, some basic facts that we use to build up proofs later on. So I want to introduce two vocabulary words here, parallel lines and skew lines. Parallel lines are two lines that do not intersect, but they are on the same plane. They are coplanar. Skew lines are also two lines that do not intersect, um, with a given line, but they are not coplanar. So I'll show you a picture about what that means in a little while. Our parallel postulate, okay, is to highlight for you that if you have a line, let's call it line L, and there is a point, let's call it point P, there is at least one line that goes through P that is parallel to that line. That should be a pretty obvious fact, and we refer to that as the parallel postulate. Likewise, if we had a line L and we had a dot P, there's also one line that would go through P and cross line L in a perpendicular fashion. We refer to this as a perpendicular postulate. Okay, pretty basic ideas that we're throwing together. Now, most of today has to do with work regarding angles and their transversals. In other words, when we have two lines and we have a line that cuts across both of them, we refer to this line that cuts across both of them as a transversal. Okay, and each time that happens, it creates a set of angles that we need to practice learning and using on a regular basis. So these are mostly vocabulary word or vocabulary level type questions. These angles here that are produced when you have a transversal cutting across two different lines, this is called a corresponding angles. And angles 2 and angle 6, this represents a set of corresponding angles. There are many sets of corresponding angles, right? There's also this set right here where these x's are. That's another set of corresponding angles. This down here is what we might refer to as the bottom left of this intersection and the bottom left of this intersection. These are also corresponding angles, right? Now, there's also something referred to as alternate interior angles. Let's first talk about this word alternate, which means generally the angles are on different sides of that transversal. Okay. And interior refers to the lines that the transversal is coming across, right? So this means these angle 4 and angle 6 are an example of alternate interior angles. Okay. If there's another example, it would be this guy and this guy. Those would also be alternate interior angles. Now, wouldn't these over here be it? No, because those aren't interior angles, just these sets. Alternate exterior angles, however, include angles 1 and 8. Radio. You can see to be alternate. Again, they're on different sides of the transversal. And in this case, because they were not within or interior of the angles, they are outside but exterior of the angle, we would also have 1 and 8. We'd also have these guys. This guy and this guy would also be alternate exterior angles. Now let's take a look at what happens if they're on the inside, interior, okay, but they are on the same side. Well, they wouldn't be alternate interior, they would instead be consecutive interior. Okay, consecutive. Consecutive meaning right next to each other, right? So these are two angles that are interior right next to each other. These are called consecutive interior angles. All right, let's go back, take a look here. Let's go back to what we said in the very beginning about parallel lines and skew lines. Okay, so we have a shape here. It's similar to the shape you're going to be dealing with in today's assignment. Okay, where they ask us to find all the parallel lines to CD. So just one more time here. This is CD right here. And parallel lines of CD, okay, are two lines that do not intersect and are coplanar. Okay, so this large one on top here, that's the plane that CD is on, at least one of the planes. Okay, so this is parallel. Okay, also there's this little square shape going up and down here. Okay, and that would make this one parallel. Okay, in other words, they are on the same plane and they do not intersect. Boom and boom. Now, the next thing you need to figure out here is skew lines. Skew lines. Two lines that do not intersect and are not coplanar. Okay. For example, skew lines might be, here's our CD. Okay. So skew lines might include AE, this guy. He's not even on the same plane and they don't touch. Neither does FB. Okay. Neither does EF. None of those touch either. All right. There's actually a few more, right? There's also this guy in the back, FG. He's also coplanar. I mean, he's also skew. Pardon me. And this one up front, he's not on the same plane as this guy. Okay. He's not on the same plane as this guy. Each one of those are skew. All right. And you're going to have a practice with that in today's assignment. All right. Now, for today's daily exercise, let's take a look at this. First of all, they basically want us to, some vocabulary level questions here. They really want us to identify each of the pairs of angles. They want us to practice looking at these things and knowing what they're called. Ready to go. So each one of them here, once again, we have two lines. It's going, one line is cut across that. We might call that our transversal or T or line T. And for just for identification purposes, let's take a look at all the corresponding angles. So first of all, starting with angle 1 here, the corresponding angle to angle 1, what we might call the upper left intersection, is angle 5 at this intersection. So I'm going to say angle 1 and angle 5. That's a pair of corresponding angles. Now, so are 2 and 6, 3 and 8, and 4 and 7. Okay. There's 4 sets of corresponding angles. Alternate interior angles. Well, first of all, interior would mean between the two lines here. Alternate would mean they're on different sides. So 3 and 6, 4 and 5. Exterior would be on the other side, right? 1 and 2 and 8 and 7 on the far sides of the two lines here. Exterior might be angle 1 and angle 7. 1 and 7. Those are alternate exterior angles. And also angle 2 and angle 8. 2 and 8. Alternate exterior. And consecutive, which means just two angles next to each other. Angle 3 and angle 5. Here and here. And 4 and 6. All right. Now, good luck in today's assignment. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask me and or the teacher, or email me. Thank you very much.